So we are doing braised cabbage. Basically, it's the same German cabbage that I did last week. We just had leftover cabbage and all the ingredients, and I figured, well, why don't we just do another German dish? So that's what we're doing. The sides are going to be the same. We're going to do spaetzle, same way we did it before. We're going to do the Bayrisches weisskraut. I really need to look up how to say that because I do not speak German. We're going to do those, and yeah, that's what's up. Oh, and then I wanted to do an applesauce, but it had to be. I wasn't just feeling applesauce, so I wanted to do something else. So we're going to do what's called, or what I'm calling, curried applesauce. So basically, I have a bunch of spices, my favorite spices to make curries, different types of curries with. And we're going to put those in with the applesauce, and that's what we're going to make applesauce out of. So I'm probably going to actually just get all that going right now, so we don't have to worry about it later. So I'm going to move my water, actually, because we don't need that quite yet. All right. I'm going to turn. So I have my pan heating up for the cabbage. This is going to take about 5 minutes. It's cast iron, as always. This is going to heat up nearly immediately. So with that, I made some beautiful clarified butter. And we're going to use that to cook our spices. Well, I guess I could have just done the spices dry. This is fine. This is how you would do it if you were making actual Indian food. I had about a month of going deep into Indian cooking, which, if you didn't know, doesn't even scratch the surface. Literally, it was, what, 1/1 of the... Anyway, because of that, I have a ton of spices for it, and I think I have a rough idea, a lot of some of it. Although I don't have fresh ginger, and we're not going to use that because I don't want to. We're going to use what's called hing instead. If you've never heard of hing, it is this. Good luck seeing where does it say? It says hing somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right here in very, very small letters. LG hing, also known as a saphoid powder. They say hing because it's 4 letters, and I'm a dumb American. My wife just gave me the look of like, what moron did I marry? Well, sweetheart, this moron. Okay. What was that? Is that a cat? Sorry, there's like cats either fighting or, doing something else outside. You never know. Alright, so for the applesauce, we have our butter heated. We don't want it too hot because, we don't want to burn this shit. Rubber spatula. Alright, so let's start. We're going to start with the whole spices. I'm going to do 2 cardamom cloves. And frankly, I'm probably overdoing it with the spices, but I really want this to pop. We're going to do 2 cardamom cloves. Now, this is not super traditional Indian food, but I just love the taste of star anise and like something kind of sweet like apples. So we're going to kind of toast these here real quick. We're going to take a little bit longer because that's the thing. I have all ground spices here. Not that. And we're going to add those. And they're just going to fry for just a second. Now, applesauce, as you may or may not know, you don't use a fat in it. So the use of butter in this is not traditional by any stretch of the imagination. And it's probably going to be weird when it's cold. So we're not going to serve it cold. We're basically doing like an apple curry. And I think that's going to be pretty good. The Germans, they love curries, just like every other European country. If you've never had currywurst, then you're missing out. It's delicious. So I don't think I'm really too far outside of what could be considered modern traditional German food. So we're just doing something a little different. I'm feeling crazy. Why not? If it's garbage, I'll tell you it's garbage. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. If it's mediocre, I'll tell you it's fantastic. So, oh, good. Okay, so we got our spices going. While the spices are going, this is getting heated nicely. We're gonna add some butter here. You could add oil if you'd prefer. Hey, come on, guys. I made this from that really nice Irish butter, knockoff Kerrygold from Aldi. It's just so damn tasty. It smells so amazing. I had to. So, all right, we are going to add our onions and garlic. And as you remember before, we want to get this kind of caramelized. I believe that's what the recipe said. I should probably read it. Yeah, brown onions in pan. Exactly. Okay. So it calls to brown the onions in the pan before adding the sugar. Frankly, I don't really see the purpose of that. I didn't see the purpose of it when we did it last time. I did it to see if it would make a difference. I don't think it did. So we're just going to add it now. What was it? 3 tablespoons? So about like that. Gonna, sugar's gonna draw out the liquid just like the salt did that I added, but it's also just gonna make it caramelize faster. So when we make the schnitzel, I want to do it in this pan as well. I have another saute pan over here. That's really for the spaetzle, for when we're picking everything up at the end. So we're just gonna get this nice and caramelized. You can see these red onions were a little old. They'd kind of sprouted a bit, but that's no big deal. It's not a problem. It'll be fine. Stuff's not frying as quickly as I was hoping. Well, anyway, I think it's getting somewhat fragrant, but it's not really what I was looking for quite yet. So let me put the parsley in there to stay nice and fresh. But let me drain off these apples. You notice they browned a bit. It's because I only put them in water and I didn't put any acid in them. I'm not super concerned about that because all the browning really does, it doesn't really do anything. It may be aesthetic, but it's really not a big deal. So we're gonna drain off the water here. Because we're going to use actually just a hair of coconut milk. If you were watching my Sunday stream, you saw that I had some coconut milk left over from the pancakes. And that's exactly what I'm going to use on this. Because why not? We're making a curry. And not all Indian curries, of course, have coconut milk in them, but some do. And I have very little left. But I think it's very little left. But I think it will make a very nice curry. So, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, but I got a good feeling about this one. Okay, so our spices, butter's definitely hot. Spices are toasted. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add, I'm going to do this actually in a little dish because I don't want it all to burn the minute I add it. So also going to unscrew this so I can deglaze if need be immediately. So we're going to add a very little amount of clove. Clove goes very far if you've ever used it. Do not need much, just about like that, okay? Then hey, I can do it right here, right? And then we're gonna add some cinnamon. About like that, I would say. That's maybe a little bit more. We can go a little heavier on the cinnamon because cinnamon and apple, for obvious reasons. Some cumin. I believe this is already toasted. And I don't want to go hard on the cumin, although cumin, coriander are 2 of the most iconic flavors in curries. So we got some cumin, we got some coriander. Coriander is good because it kind of provides it's almost more like a sweet spice if you ask me. So okay, so we got that. Now, a lot of times they put the turmeric and the Kashmiri chili powder at the end. I think I'm gonna follow suit on that. I don't think I want to fry those. I think I just want to stew them. And then we're also going to add our hing. So that was way too much hing. It's okay, though. So hing's got a really weird... It's actually a sap from a tree. And it has a very distinct aroma. It kind of smells like old garlic and ginger. I know. Appetizing, right? So we're going to add that right in there. Now, the problem with the hing, though, is because it's sap from a tree, it's sticky. It kind of sticks to the pan. But we will see what happens. We're just literally going to fry this for a couple seconds. By the way, already smells fantastic. I think we're going to crush this. I don't have to worry about it burning. We got it right at the right temperature. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to add the Kashmiri red pepper. which you could substitute with any other red pepper that you wanted. Doesn't have to be this one. Stuff is somewhat spicy. I'd call it like a mild to a mild hot. I'm gonna add some turmeric. You don't never need much turmeric. It's usually like 1/8 of a teaspoon or something. Just a little bit. I always thought turmeric was just for color, but I'll tell you what, it's got a ton of flavor. It definitely is what makes curries taste like curries. All right, so we're just frying that in the butter here. It smells fantastic. It looks fantastic. Oh yeah. Now that smells pretty roasted. I don't want to cook it anymore. Now we're gonna add our. There's a lid in these apples. What on God's earth did I do? Okay. Now we're gonna add the apples. And we're just going to stew these until they're basically mush. And we're just going to keep cooking them. And that's it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. But I don't really want any sugar. I want to see how sweet they are once they're fully cooked. That all over the place. But what we are going to do right now... Man, that looks awesome. It smells so good. I might have, like, discovered something here. I got to be honest. I just tasted an apple that fell out. Pretty good. Best I've ever had. Okay, let's add some coconut milk. It's in there. Stir that around nicely. Just like. I'm just going to turn this on kind of low. Now it is an applesauce, so I don't want to like make it like super salty or anything, but it does need something. You know what we will do? So there's this syrup or sugar in Indian cooking called jaggery syrup. Yeah, it's gonna make me have to move this camera, so bear with me, folks. Grab this earlier. Got it. There it is. There she is. Hang on, let me grab it. All right, we got our jaggery. Oh, there we go. Camera fixed. All right. So this is what it's called. It's called jaggery syrup. It's just a cane sugar, an unrefined cane sugar. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take. Oh man, it stinks. Oh, it's because it's moldy. Fuck. Who knew it molded? I didn't. All right, let's see if I can cut this mold off. I can cut it. We're good. By the way, cutting mold off shit is fine. Don't get all like worked up like some people do. This is just a stink. I will tell you what. Ugh. It's potent. I had no idea. All right, so I guess you need to really make sure you like vacuum seal that or refrigerate it. All right, it smells fine. Is it? It's okay. It's just sugar. But clearly it's got some moisture in it. We're going to throw that in there. I'll throw one more in after I cut off all the... And I'm going to throw this out because I'm not keeping moldy sugar in my house. But for the sake of this, I will use it. But it's a white mold, so I'm not really worried about it. It looks like actually a pretty single mold. So it's really not. I'm not worried. If it was green or black, I'd be like, oh, we got to get rid of that shit. That's gonna kill us. White mold, not too worried about. White mold is, I mean, it's it's just like a pellicle, like you would find on a like a cheese or something. It's almost always. So I'm not. We'll be fine. And it's sugar. I mean, sugar. I mean, apparently it can mold, but it doesn't. And that's a first for me. Excuse me. Oh Lord, excuse me. Yeah, I've never seen full sugar mold like that. I mean, I've used piloncillo, coconut sugar, palm sugar, all that stuff. Never seen it mold. But yeah, apparently jaggery syrup or sugar will mold. I should have just turned it all into syrup like I'd kind of planned to originally. Oh well. All right, so we got the sugar in here. And what this is going to do, it's going to kind of give us like a rustic sugary taste. So it's going to give us like some molasses and things. And that's why I think that's important. Okay. So that's cooking nicely. I'm going to taste it real quick. Always taste things, especially when you don't know what you're doing. Well, that tastes awesome. Dude. Yo, that is so good. And it's not even done. Taste. Good, right? Got a little kick in. It's good. Don't think of it like grandma's or mama's applesauce or whatever. You know, it ain't. If you think of it kind of more like a curry sauce, I think you'll be more prepared for what it is. So anyway, all right, let's get this stewed. We're gonna cook it on really low heat, like I said, for quite some time. Basically for as long as the cabbage takes. I don't want to burn it. We just have to cook it to mush, so it's really not a big deal. All right, all these spices put away in my. You know, when we move, we have like 4 boxes of spices, by the way. Like, moving boxes. It's ridiculous. And most of them, here's the crazy part, most of it's actually fresh. That's how much spices we use. Like, they're not actually even expired. There are definitely some in there that are, without question, expired. But most of it, nah, it's really not. It's crazy. Okay, so these are nice and brown. You can see that caramelization there. Right. So y'all can see the full. We have nice caramelized. This is not caramelized onions. These are browned onions that I put sugar on, where some parts have caramelized. But this is not what we would consider caramelized onions. So it's good enough though. We're gonna add, what was it? A tablespoon of caraway, teaspoon of caraway. So we'll call it about. That looks good. Such an underrated spice, caraway. I don't know if I said that last stream. It is a maze. All right, so we're gonna let that cook, get until fragrant, just like we did before. What else do I do? Oh, there's the broth. There's a cup of broth, a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. All right. We got our demi. We got our white wine vinegar. Nice. We are going to add our cabbage, and we're going to just cook that just a hair, just until it starts to brown a little bit. You know, I personally like those Maillard flavors, just in general. I very seldom opt for, you know, the clean, not Maillardy flavors. In delicate dishes, I think that it's, you know, you have to do that. Those poached flavors and things like that. But for most things that I cook, I do prefer brown stuff. Just I gotta figure out something for that, because apparently masking tape ain't cutting it. Really don't want to use duct tape, but might have to. I know we're going big time here. Got a better camera, better mic. I'm going big time. I'm using a camera we were going to donate to a third world country. Big time in you over here. Come on. There we go. There we go. That spoon that I was using. Need to dirty more than I have to. I gotta be honest, I'm not. I think I said this last time. We just don't eat a lot of cabbage, but I did really like this. I thought it was pretty nice. We'll see. It's not my favorite, I'll be honest. But I just think that I think that's just cabbage. I don't think it's this recipe. This recipe is actually really good. I'm just not a cabbage eater. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough Irish in me. Or German. I have plenty of German. I'm like 50% German. That's definitely not it. And I gotta be honest, like most sauerkrauts, I am not a fan. But I'll tell you what, a made cleanly fermented one, ooh, wee, is it good. I made a sauerkraut once, and it was alright. Okay. Wasn't my favorite. Maybe I didn't do it right. Maybe I don't think it was clean enough. Or I gotta be honest, like I'm intimidated by it. Like, I think, you know what, if I dig deep down inside myself and think about who I am, I think it's really that I'm just intimidated by cabbage. Because I don't know what to do with it. I gotta be honest. Like, it seems like all the recipes are the same. Or it's stuffed. Or like, I don't know. It just seems, for a vegetable that is so prolific throughout the world, or at least throughout Europe, and so bloody affordable, you think there would be some like amazing cabbage recipes. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing them. Like, let me know. What out of this world cabbage recipe am I missing? What cabbage recipe that would make me go, I want to eat this every night of the week? Do I not know about? Because I don't know about them. That's for sure. All right, I think we're pretty good here. So let's add a healthy bit of demi. And we're going to add a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. That'll do it. And we're going to add a cup of water because we're basically making our own stock. Right? Yeah, I agree. It's just fucking cabbage, right? There's nothing. I've never had anything. I mean, yeah, I've had good cabbage before, but nothing that made me go, like, I gotta have cabbage. Like, this is the best thing I've ever had. Too bad, because it is dirt cheap. Like, I mean, I swear to God, I feel like most stores are just like trying to give it away. No, no girlfriend, man. I put a ring on that thing. You have a relationship question? I don't think I'm one to answer, but let's hear it. I got a boyfriend. Funny. All right, so that's cooking. We're gonna let that stew for about a half an hour. Let me get the lid on here. Yeah, put that lid. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's see here. This, just about there. We're just gonna let it keep cooking. It's looking good. I'm gonna let that go. I'm actually gonna remove the lid because it needs to evaporate a little bit. We got our water going there. This looks done. Yep, that is definitely done. So, all right, so let's get this out and into something. Ooh, I do not want it that hot. This tell you what. All right, let's see if that works. There. All right, let me get it into a container that can stay hot. Put it cool. Obey just said he's got to jump off for a minute. Apparently, Jen's been yelling at him. So he said he's going to jump back on, though. All right, so here we go. That just into a bowl. Keep it nice and hot. This looks freaking delicious. I probably should have tasted it to make sure it didn't need seasoning. Let's taste it. That was neat. little bit of seasoning. A little bit here. There we go. That's good. Oh yeah? You got that good love-making music on? All that in there. All right. That's good. Eat off here real quick. Throw some plastic on this. She's gonna go right in the oven to stay warm. Okay, get out of the way. Now, you may have guessed, before I can fry anything, I have to clean this pan here. Not a big deal. Takes a second. Quick brush. That's it. That's why I love cast iron, man. Like, I feel like cast iron was made for how a man wants to, like, clean. Barely. You know, dudes are fucking lazy. That women like cleaning or want to clean. That's not my what I meant to say or imply. What I meant was we're lazy fucks, and you know, the only way you could possibly get a lazy fuck like most dudes to clean is if literally all you have to do is spray it off and wipe it. That's more or less what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's get this back on medium heat. Now, we are frying, so I'm going to use just some old frying oil. This stuff is on its last leg, but it is brown, or browner, but it's not bad yet. It doesn't stink. Let's get, oh, okay, maybe it stinks a little. This is probably the last time I'm going to use it. Okay, so we got that. We got to prep our breasts for our schnitzel. I'm going to use only one breast. Now, typically, the missus and I, we like to keep the skin on, but for schnitzel, that's not really something you can do. So we're gonna take the skin off, but we're just gonna use it for the stock later. So I'm just gonna take it off. I'm just kind of pulling it off. You can do it all by hand, or you can do kind of how I did by using the knife to guide it. Now you want to make sure you don't have any cartilage or anything on the side. Like here, there's this fat here. That's okay. Now where it connects to the wing bone, you want to get that stuff off. It's just kind of tough. So just kind of slice that off underneath and then the other way. All right. Now, we're going to cut this guy in half. But I'm going to slice it right down the center. Just right in half. Nice, even bits. Okay? Just like that. And one of these is a little bigger than the other. It's fine. All right. So that's going to be our schnitzel. I'll have the bigger one. My wife can have the smaller one. You probably want that anyway. All right. I'm going to put this in the fridge for now. What I would do if it were me, you know, if I weren't streaming to y'all and I wanted to take up all the time in the world, I would just vacuum seal all these all they are, throw them in the freezer and be done with it. But for now, I'm just going to put it in the fridge, save some time. So I will deal with it later. All right. We got our chicken. Now, we got to flatten them a little bit. So we're going to take some saran wrap. This guy. Grab another glove. Put one here. Wrap them up. I'm just looking to cover it a little bit. All right, that's one. And do the same thing with the other one. Now, what do they call it? I can't remember what the hammer's called. It's like I don't remember. It's like a meat hammer, meat mallet. That's what it's called. It's typically what you would use to make these flatter. I don't have one. I'm instead going to use a big piece of marble from our mortar and pestle. I'm just going to flatten her out. So So we want a nice thin schnitzel. Okay, that one's a little bit more flat. Now for the other one. Basically, anything heavy will be able to flatten it. Now you want to be gentle with this. You don't want to like absolutely destroy it and turn it into like pieces of chicken. So now that we have our flattened chicken, we're going to set these aside. Okay. This is going nicely. This is going nicely. I'm going to turn up the heat on the spaetzle water here. Now, let's make the spots. Oops. Sorry, all that pounding. It just go a little wonky, didn't it? Okay. So let's do our spaetzle batter, which is really easy. I could have emptied that trash now that it's going. All right. So we just need a mixing bowl. Where is my mixing bowl? It is. I did not forget the flour. I thought I'd forgotten the flour. This guy right here. I think that moved too. All right, now what do we need? I got my recipes here. I need an egg and 2.65 ounces of water. Let's do our water since I have the scale out. 2.65. A little heavy. Maybe. Oh, I forgot the nutmeg. One egg. Whisk this. So it's blended. Then we're going to add 4 ounces of flour. Again, is just under a cup. Nope. Leaving that in there because I'm going to need it a minute for the schnitzel. Going to do a pinch of salt, which is really going to be about a teaspoon of salt. About like that, nice hearty pinch. And then the nutmeg, maybe like a 1/4 teaspoon. About like that. That's all we need. Don't need a lot. Okay. And mix. And that's your spaetzle batter. Fresh egg pasta. Or noodle, I guess they call it. Not over mixing it. Just enough. Okay. Spaetzle batter done. This is going to go in the fridge until we're ready to cook it. It's actually going to be pretty soon. All right. I got to leave you guys for a minute because I need to use the little cook's room again. Or I guess for the first time I haven't used. There we go. So, I'm gonna leave you for a second. And I'll be right back. I promise. Okay, we're back. That feels hot. I'm gonna turn that down. Let me see. Let me see if I can get a thermometer on here. Do I have my thing? So, probably not. Probably didn't do. We'll just do it like this. Just want to see where we're at. Oh, yeah, it's wicked hot. Plenty hot. Yeah, we're like 400. That's plenty hot. I don't have to worry about it, but I definitely need to turn it down. Alright, that's turned down. Now, we are doing what's called a standard breading. This is way easier than maybe it sounds. I don't know. You tell me. It sounds intimidating? It's not. Don't worry about it. What do I want to do? Come on with it. Alright, we're going to use... I did not plan this well enough. I'll tell you what. We're going to use some pie pans. And, gonna use, use this guy for the eggs. Just a flat dish bowl. Alright, so we got 2 pieces of chicken, so I don't need a lot of anything. So I do 1 egg beaten. Alright. 1 egg beaten. Oh. Would have thought an Aldi egg would look nicer. That looks like just an anemic, like, GMO chicken egg. Aldi's eggs are a lot nicer. Got that one from Target. Not because I wanted to, but because I didn't want to go all the way to the Aldi's the other day, and all I needed was eggs. Alright. So we're gonna whip this just mix it in. And it's an egg wash, so we could do multiple eggs, or I can just stretch it with water, which guess what? That's what I'm gonna do. And that's gonna be fine. There's plenty of binding power here. Now, when you're doing a standard breading, you want to try to season at as many stages as you can. So we're going to season the eggs, salt and pepper. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to take some flour. This is going to be our first. By adding the flour, this is what helps everything stick. So the flour helps the egg stick, which then helps the breadcrumbs stick. Now, I do not have standard breadcrumbs. We don't keep standard breadcrumbs in the house. I keep panko breadcrumbs. It's just what we do. Standard breadcrumbs or traditional would be ideal for, or more traditional. But again, I don't keep them. I'm not buying them. Panko works just fine. So, season. Now, when you're doing a standard breading, it's important to keep a wet hand and a dry hand. Going back to the gloves on this one. Don't have to, but again, I have things about things touching my hands. I'm not a fan. So, right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our first piece of chicken with our wet hand, which I apparently have decided is my right hand, which I hate having it be my wet hand. Just so you know. But I always do it, even after a decade of working in kitchens. Alright, so this is my wet hand. Now I want to not touch any dry stuff, which includes the flour and breadcrumbs. So I get to use my non-dominant hand now to do this, which I absolutely hate doing. But it's what I did. Like I said, I do it every damn time. I regret it every damn time. Okay, so we're just dredging it here in the flour, just like such. Uh-oh, I lost a camera. How did I lose the camera? Actually. What's up? Oh, I can fix it. Alright. I guess I'll know in a minute if I fixed it. Well, I'm not putting another glove on, so okay. So here we go. Now it's going to go into our wet. It's going to be right here. Oh, I hate wet. Okay. Now it's going to go from wet to another dry. Obviously, is going to be this one. You see, I kind of overbeat this. I don't know if you can tell. But it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of destroyed. I definitely hit it too hard with that mallet. Or with that, that thing. Alright, so. Just kind of working the breadcrumbs in. Trying to do it one-handed. Okay. Now, we're just going to fry this one at first. Oh yeah, it's a little hot. So, it's a wee bit hot. Right, that might not be enough breadcrumbs either. We will find out. Oh good, my other camera's working. I was able to get it up and running. That. Okay, so flour. Flour nice and in there. Make sure it's fully coated. Not sure what they're barking about. There's definitely nobody here, but that is what it is. All right, now we're gonna go back to breadcrumbs. You can give it a nice little shake. Sometimes that helps. There we go. Oh, just enough breadcrumbs. All right, now this one's gonna go in here. So obviously the first one we did is gonna be done first. Now, I'm going to empty this guy and wash him real quick. Because this is where we're going to put our cooked chicken. And obviously I want it clean because we just put raw chicken in it, and now I'm going to put cooked chicken on it. So, all right, there we go. Nice and clean. I'll throw it right in the oven so it's nice and hot for that chicken once it's done. All of this is done in garbage. I don't need that. And I don't need that. I don't put any of this in the compost because it had meat on it. And I don't need critters getting into our compost, which they already do even without meat products. Sometimes at least. So we'll wipe all that off. There we go. That's schnitzel. It's super easy. All right. Our spaetzle water is boiling. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move this one back and move this one forward because I need better heat and the spaetzle closer to me. So we're gonna get this guy. This guy needs to reduce a bit. So being on a hot burner is gonna be good for it. That's pretty good though. I gotta be honest. That actually, I think that's done. I think it might be done. Yeah, let's just end that there. I'm gonna kill that, kill the heat on it, because I think it's good. Now we're gonna pick out whole herbs that spices that I see, like the star anise. Get rid of it. And I gotta find the cardamom or star anise. Come on. Come on. If I don't find the cardamom, it's fine. The food mill will pick it. Really don't want to deal with it if I can avoid it. Should be 2 cardamom cloves, or pods as they call them. Let's see if we can find them. I don't see them. Definitely in here. It smells freaking amazing, by the way. Whatever, I'll figure it out later. All right, so our schnitzel's cooking. Looks like it actually needs a little bit more heat. I'm gonna flip this one. Yeah, see, it needs more heat. By the way, this is also how you do, not togarashi, what's the cutlet? The Japanese cutlet? I don't remember. That's how you do that one too, it's the same shit. Nope. Anyway. Alright, that's going. This is basically where we need it, so we're going to season it here. Always season your water whenever you're making pasta, right? Or noodles of any sort. So, there we go. That's in there. We got our spatula cooker. Let's grab our spatula dough. Grab a bench knife. Okay, we'll even use the one that came with it. Why not? All right, so we're just gonna scrape out this dough here, right on the center. Get all that goodness out. Right here. Right? And now we're just gonna push them through. Let's push it through into the water. Just like that. So easy. So easy, yet so delicious. All right, that's it. Dun 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 dun. And there's our spatula. Couldn't get much easier. We're gonna let them cook for a minute. And when they're done, do I have a container I can use? Why don't I just clean out this bowl? Clean this bowl here real quick. Put the spatula in it. It's done. That way I don't have to dirty another container, which I would like to avoid whenever possible. Not worried about the water because it's going to be wet. Now the spatula is coming out of boiling water, so not really concerned about it. Okay. Okay. Next step. Pasta's gonna cook for a minute. We gotta cut some parsley for the spatula. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. But anyway, we're just gonna do a quick chiffonade here. That's that nice long cut that I showed y'all before. Check this guy out. Oh, that's way too hot. Why did I turn it up so high? I did not mean to do that. All right, so these are probably pretty close to done, but they're not really crispy yet. So they're cooked, but they're not crispy. So I probably let the oil get a little bit too cold. All right, our spatula's done. It literally takes a minute. I mean, you see how quick it goes. So these are out. Drain it off the water. Gonna add some butter to it. Keep it from sticking, becoming a sticky mess. So, the reason I'm using butter is because that's what we're gonna cook it with. So, might as well use what we're gonna cook it with. Let's get rid of this water here. And now, we're gonna start heating up this pan. I'm not gonna cook it on this burner because this is not gonna be even enough. But we'll at least get it warm so that way when we're ready for our real burner, it's ready to go. All right, so we're going to siphon out this parsley real quick. Just like such. What else do I need to do? I need to finish this applesauce here. So to do that, we're going to take I could do this a couple different ways. I could use a blender, which would be nice, but it's not what I want. What I want, I'm just gonna clean this guy. Speaking of trying to avoid cleaning too much, I want a nice rustic applesauce look, you know, where it's like kind of got some chunks to it, like not like chunks, but like, you know, I mean, you know, like how applesauce looks. And to do that, you need to use a food mill. So. Clean out this guy here. Almost done. All right. So now we got clean pan. We're gonna take our applesauce. I'm gonna put it right in the food mill here. Just like that. Beautiful. Now we're going to put that aside because I'm going to probably need that spatula later. Now we're going to call this good because I don't want it to turn out to be dry. So this is just going to go right in the oven. This guy, he's done. He's not really, see, he's not crispy on there. Try and get that guy crispy. It's going to be soggy otherwise, and that doesn't sound very good to me. All right, so we're just going to run this through the food mill, just like the potatoes. And remember, there's going to be a lot of pectin in this because of the apple, so when it cools down, it's going to get a lot thicker. However, like I said before, we are going to eat this warm, which I think that's the play, man. I think that's the play. I don't think a cold curry applesauce sounds... That does not sound terribly appeasing to me. But a warm one sounds delicious. Just pushing it through just like that. You could do this with the skins on and let the food mill pull the skins off, which is how most people traditionally do it. I peeled them just because I didn't want to... I didn't want any astringency. You know, I wanted to have a nice, clean applesauce. Ooh, which reminds me... I don't know why that reminded me, but... we need to add some lemon to this. There we go. So that's nice. Yeah, that's perfect applesauce consistency. It's exactly what I wanted. Exactamundo. All right. So before I add any lemon to it, let's make sure that it's not too sour. Because we don't want to add something to something without knowing what it tastes like. Especially when we're adjusting seasoning. You know, you don't just add salt hoping that it needed salt. You want to make sure that it needs salt. Fry that guy up a little bit. That's going to be what that's going to be. Let's get this guy in here. I need to move this guy off. Actually, need it further away than that. So we're going to move him over her. Let that guy cool down. All right. That guy's going to go there. And now we're going to heat him up on the nice big burner. Okay. Let's see where we're at. I don't know if that even needs lemon. Let me ask my wife. Need lemon? Good. Yeah, she agreed. So she thinks it might need a little bit, which tells me that I'm probably okay. So, that's the sauce. So, I don't want to. Alright. Sauce is done. Cabbage is done. Chicken is done. Next thing to do is to cook the spaetzle. So we got our saute pan. I want this thing not screaming hot, but pretty hot. Because this is not as non-stick as that. And that cast iron stuck the spaetzle pretty hard last time we made it. So, that's pretty hot. Now I am gonna crank it because once I add the spaetzle, it's gonna get really cold really fast. Now, I'm gonna add it away from me because there is water in it. Not a lot of water, but enough to make me, you know, not want it to splash in my face. So we're gonna toss it. That's gonna get it fully coated in butter, and now we're just gonna fry it until it's done. While I do that, I'm gonna put away some dishes because I have a lot of shit to clean up. I gotta be honest. There are a ton of dishes in this cook that I've done, and it's a little ridiculous. I gotta be honest. I did not expect this many dishes. Some of this away. My night's not so difficult later. You can smell it. It's cooled down. It's going to start sticking pretty soon. Hopefully not. Hopefully it doesn't stick, and that would be fantastic. This is actually going to go really nicely with that. I think this is actually going to go nicely with everything. Yeah. This will go really nice with the curry taste. It'll be great with the fried food because it's kind of clean. Cut right through it. It'll go really nice with that because of the nutmeg. Yeah. Inadvertently, I actually paired a really nice beer with it. Shit, look at me. We're here doing shit that I didn't even know. But, yeah, I'm pretty excited. The curry applesauce is absolutely off the chain, by the way. I completely knocked that out of the park. Do yourself a favor and try that. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, this pan's perfect for it. I don't know why I didn't use it the first time. I was too worried about it sticking, I think. But in retrospect, it was better for it. Who would have known? Not this guy. So we're just gonna get those nice and brown and fried, and that's it. And that's dinner, man. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy shit. I guess that actually really wasn't that easy. I cooked a lot of stuff. It wasn't hard. It really wasn't. But yeah, man. It's almost done. Just need to cook it a little bit more. This is how much we cook. This is how many dishes I have after just a day. That's looking fire. All right. I'm going to use these plates because they were right there. No other reason other than they were right there. I got a couple more noodles in here. Let me put them in there. Right. I'm gonna put this because we're not gonna eat all that tonight for obvious reasons. If you're wondering, it was about six to 8 apples. I don't actually recall. So it actually took a lot of apples, but I just had a ton of apples left over from last week's dishes, and I really don't like throwing anything out. So yeah, that was kind of the impetus behind this. Was using a lot of leftovers from yesterday. Okay, I can smell it. It's burning. So you see that got a little bit too hot. All right, I'm gonna kill it because I think we're done. I'm gonna add a little bit more butter, just a hair, and now we're gonna add our parsley. Look at that. Oh my god. How good does that look? Look at that. Oh, it smells beautiful, that nice herbaceous parsley smell. Alright. So, plating. Let's get the spaetzle down first. Right there. It's very nice. Spaetzle's right there. Keep it nice and tight. All right, let's get the cabbage out. The cabbage. We can kill the oven. Excuse me, buddy. You are in the way. Cabbage, nice and hot. Also very liquidy, which I could finish it with butter, but I'm not going to. Because I want this to be kind of, not dry, but I don't want it to leak all over the plate like it did last time. I'm going to drain it a bit from there. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I mean, we don't want a ton of cabbage because, it's cabbage. But anyway, so there's that. 1, Made a messy one. That's good. I need cabbage for dinner tomorrow night. So actually, I'm gonna take some of this. You need some. Clean up the plate here so I have a nice picture perfect plate. I want it to be this one. I like this plate. One of my favorite plates that we have. One of the benefits about being a chef in restaurants is you get free plate samples, silverware samples. Because of that, you get some awesome plates. The downside is you get one plate. So we have awesome plate samples or bowl samples, but we only have one of them. So there's no set. All right. There we go. There's that. And then this guy. Oh, look at that dude. Look at that dude. Alright. Now it's time for the sauce. I could put the sauce right on top. I'm looking at this. And honestly, it'd probably be even better like on a side ramekin. But I'm gonna just put it right here. Also, if I was in a restaurant, I would not be using a rubber spatula. I would 100% spoon. I'm gonna put it right on the start. Touching a little bit, you know, just touching a hair. Q-tip. This here. There we go. This probably could have been cooked a little bit more, or at least hotter. I think I was too worried about the oven getting, or the oil getting too hot. But look at that guy. Tell me that doesn't look freaking awesome. All right. Moment of truth. Let's try it. I've already tasted the sauce, but let me try it again. I want to try it with the beer this time. So good. Sweet, sour, spiced. You go with it. Try the spaetzle. I love spaetzle so much. I can get it on my fork. Nailed it. Delicious. Okay with that. Honestly, the cinnamon is kind of overpowering this beer. Kind of thing that I think might kind of balance out, because sometimes that's what spices can do, but then also they can heighten it. I just had an idea. I should have really added raisins. Cabbage. Cabbage is good. Look good. Yeah. Maybe this is the cabbage that makes I could do cabbage more. Well, that's good with beer. Well, that's real nice with the beer. Oh yeah, it brings out like those caramely flavors for sure. Okay, let's try the chicken. Beautifully cooked, by the way. Not overcooked whatsoever. A little bland. I fucked up by not seasoning the chicken itself. I should have salted the chicken. Try with the sauce though. Yep. I can retire. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So good. And I think the applesauce being warm is... I think if you used a cold applesauce, it wouldn't have worked the same way. It's got a nice little spice to it. Like actual spices. The spices are so beautiful. They're not overpowering. They're kind of delicate. They really heighten it, but they're not. It doesn't taste like a curry. You know what I mean? It's a curry adjacent. Man, is that good? That's good. I mean, if you got somebody in your life that loves German food, this is the plate to make. Oh. I'm usually my harshest critic. I have to say, applesauce, it's restaurant quality, without question. I'd probably refine it more. I'd probably make it more of a puree, not so rustic. I don't know how exactly I would do it. Maybe I don't know, but I'd do like an apple reduction or something like that. But the concept of a curried applesauce with a schnitzel, so good. Anyway, well, you know how it goes from here. I need to eat dinner now. I'm gonna enjoy the living shit out of this. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll be streaming not Tuesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'll be streaming Wednesday. I don't remember what we're doing, but we're doing something with chicken. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I will see you Wednesday. God damn it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you Wednesday.